As regarding my fear, she went further and further ahead, doing my best not to look at what lay around us. I had no choice but to hurry on after her. When we got on the upward escalator, Kozu-pii turned back at me, standing behind her. With her small frame, standing one step higher but her about the same height as me. Sorry, I just had to yawn again. My hand saved her herself. It was the same as if I hadn't done anything.
屋上から手を伸ばしてたよね。何をしようとしたの？ビョーンって飛ぼうとしたのかな？
No. I was trying to take a hold of the sword. It was an illusionary sword, one that blended into the vista I saw from the rooftop.
リゾード？
How do you know? Yeah, that's it. He said I could grasp it if I reached out, but I couldn't do it.
なんで
I unthinkingly shouted. A couple passing us on the downward escalator gave me cold looks, and I hurriedly covered my mouth with my hand. Kozu-pii, how do you know about these swords?
コズピーも持っているもん。
Well, I shouldn't be surprised. When we got off the escalator at the first floor, Kozu-pii casually raised her right hand over her head. It was similar to the gesture of someone using her head to create a shadow as protection against the brightness of the sun. Light suddenly materialized into the air, following her hand. No, more so than simple light. There were lines. This is awesome. This is legit awesome because I feel like we're finally getting somewhere. Also, I've been recording for over an hour. My voice is getting dry. If I were to make an analogy, whatever, they resemble a wireframe. Numerous lines of light intermingled intricately into the space where there shouldn't be nothing, and at last they formed a shape akin to that of a snowboard. Several streaks of blue light, more visually brilliant than the wireframe lines, ran across it. Kozu-pii closed her open hand. Holy shit! That thing is massive! I really love those designs. They're also different. The instant he did, the thing that had been a wireframe transformed into a solid, full-seeming metal plank. As though textures has been applied to it.
理想度
Oh shit, what do I do? I clicked green. I'm not sure if I messed up or not, but... And I forgot if I read the line. It was all too separate from that of Isa's and Senna's, but even so, it had the same sort of air to it. Too sinister to be called a plank, too undecorative to be called a sword. It possessed both innocent ferocity and an awe-inspiring destructiveness. He carelessly held it on high. What part of that delicate body of hers contained such strength? As far as I could tell by looking, its size made it seem certain to be at least over 5 kilograms. Kozu-pii, literally reading my internal doubts, turned back towards me and smiling shyly.
コズピーはタクミちゃんを守るためだけに作られたアンドロイドなのら。
Huh?
はい。
Did she just say android? Oh, here we go again. What kind of anime premise was this? Ignoring my stupefaction, Kozu-pii clenched one hand into a cute fist.
タクミちゃん、もう安心なの。タクミちゃんを狙う悪いやつはコズピーがドッカーンってするのら。ちなみにコズピーはメイド機能もあるの。だからこれからタクミちゃんと一緒に住んで身の回りのお世話もしたいのら。
I see, how convenient. Well, there might not be anything wrong with accepting Kozu-pii as an android. But there was a single condition I simply wouldn't back down on.
エッチなことをできる機能はありますか？
Of course, he asked. For some reason, I slipped into formal language. No, hold up. I just asked for something totally unbelievable. As I waffled over whether or not to apologize, Kozu-pii blushed and lowered her eyes.
エッチなこともできるの。夜のご奉仕頑張るの。
Oh no. Oh, is she? Oh god. A battle capable maid android is also designed for nighttime service. That's straight out of Never Gay. Her optional finishes are complete across the board, huh? Japanese technology is #1 in the world. And the best thing is, even when the delusion is over, Kozu-pii knows that we had this delusion. Sword in hand, Kozu-pii strode lightly around the store, even while I went on having such a moronic delusion. That sword though is... it's really the best one so far. Kozu-pii made no attempt to conceal her sword from those around us, as if it were perfectly natural for her to not do so. Same as Sana, she too had walked around the dead center of Shibuya carrying a ginormous sword, without a thought to spare, or how it might inconvenience others. Well, didn't Sana say that other people couldn't see it? They felt composed about it. Sana and Kozu-pii were both abnormal after all. What I then recalled was the smell of blood. I recalled the spectacle of those fallen, blood-drenched thugs.
あんなひどいことする人たちは死んで当然だよ。ポンポン。
Had they really died?
生きてる価値もないけど、あんなゴキゴキな人たちは
Rochi Rochi?
ゴキブリ？
Fair enough.
はあ、殺したかったな。
I distinctly picked up on what lay in her heart as she said this. There was not a single scrap of malice within her. She simply wanted to retaliate against bad people, and she didn't see anything wrong with it.
最近渋谷はますます物騒だよ。昨日も怖そうなゴキゴキ男たちに拉致されそうになっちゃったから、ドカドカドカーンってしてやったのら。
She too might be twisted, in a different way from me.
西条くん、こっちでーす。
Still carrying a colossal D sword, Kozu-pii started walking off. It's Stephanie Ford. She was short and slender-armed and didn't look strong at all, but she proceeded with light footsteps, showing no particular signs of feeling the sword's weight. She frequently seemed about to bump into passing customers, or displayed goods with the tip of her sword, and I covered my eyes each time. Miraculously, however, she got by without hitting anyone. Our destination turned out to be a staircase. It was dim, and unlike the rest of the floor, empty of a human presence. No one had come there. How unexpected for such a desolate space to exist in the famous Roft store, hardly a 5-minute walk away from Shibuya Station.
ロフトだけじゃないのだ。デパートの階段って全然人がいないの。
How could she know something like this that I didn't when she'd moved here only a few weeks ago and had been living in Shibuya for almost 2 years?
コズピーは東京に来てから毎日渋谷を歩き回ってたのら。それで見つけたの。憩いの場所だよ。
Evidently in a positive mood, Kozu-pii sat down on the stairs and nonchalantly laid the sword close beside her. Since it also lost the ability to put up the ache in my sides, I decided to take a short breather as well.
それで景色とか模様とか見ると別のものが見えたりしないかな。ゾウさんとかウサギさんとかライオンさんとか。一番おーって思ったのはオオサンショウウオさんに見えてた時。
What are you talking about?
理想度の話ですよ。うっぷー。何かの模様とか景色とか見ると動物さんとかいろんな形に見えることがあって。
Oh, so that's what you mean. Yeah, I've experienced the same thing. And on the old front roof as well, when I tried viewing things from that perspective, it was there. I did start blending into the scenery.
はい、ピンポンです。コズピーが最初に見えた時はハムポンポンが死んじゃった時。
Bum bum.
小学生の時飼ってたハムスター。ほいでハムポンポンのお墓を作ってあげようって土手に行ったのら。でもスコップ忘れてお墓作れなくてふみゃーって泣いていたら、お空にこの剣の形が見えた。それからはいろんなところでよく見るようになったのら。
How did you get your hands on it? I found my D-sword, but in the end, I hadn't been able to get a hold of it. No matter how much I stretched my hand out, I didn't feel anything. I couldn't grasp it.
ただ願ったんだよ。
You wished to obtain it, but then, even I... Kozu-pii picked up at me and shook her head slightly.
違うのら。願ったのはね、殺してやりたいっていうこと。
え？
A mental voice rang out clearly in my head. I hadn't mistaken her words. Just now, he said it distinctly. To kill. He'd spoken bashfully. The stairs between Rob's 5th and 6th floor were very quiet, with only a little bit of background music leaking in from the store interior. Neither of us said a thing. Somebody's breathing resounded loudly in my ears. Was it hers? No. It was mine. The stairs where no one came, a blind spot in the center of the town called Shibuya. A kind of air pocket. I swallowed to moisten my parched throat.
そう願いながら、ミューって空見たら、また剣が見えて。でも、その時まで剣とは思ってなかったよ。なんだか、ガキーンってしたものって思ってた。あれで、ブーンってやったら、殺せるかなって、無意識に手を伸ばしたら、本当につかめたのら。
And then, what happened? What did you do with it?
殺そうとしたけど、できなかった。コズピーの力じゃ半殺しにするのが精一杯だったのです。
This girl was broken.
壊れてないよ。プンプン。ここに剣あるもん。
I could see from the way she gazed lovingly at the sword by her side that she placed absolute faith in it. Her heart too conveyed the same thing to me. Was I incapable of attaining a D-sword unless I become as broken as her? Was I still unbroken in the first place?
この剣が怖くて仕方なかった。
So, Okihara Kozu had thought, at least until she came to Tokyo. But now things were different. Now it was very dear to her. It was something priceless. As long as she had this sword, she had nothing to fear. This sword would protect her. This sword was her heart, her other self. It had already 3 weeks since she had come to think that way. Since early age, Kozu had been able to hear the voices of other people's hearts. She no longer remembered when she had first become aware of it. She'd gone crazy, she'd gone sick. Even at a young age, Kozu thought she mustn't let anyone find out about her ability. And so, she concealed it from her parents as well. Because of her power, she was incapable of making friends, and she became distant from her family. And those around her were creeped out by how she was. A child. I assume that this is supposed to be with astoundingly good intuition. If after coming to Shibuya, she feared going to school. She didn't want to meet anyone. Whatever the case, she reckoned he would find her repellent. On the day when she was originally supposed to transfer in, and the day after it, and even the day after that, she wandered around Shibuya instead of going to school. School must have contacted her parents. Surely they'd realized she was skipping without permission. But neither of them said anything about it to her. Unlike in the boondocks where she'd lived before, no one found fault with her. Even if she walked around the city all morning on a weekday. With her appearance that would make it easy for people to mistake her for a middle school student. Several days after she had begun to meander around Shibuya, she found a resting place on the stairs inside Roft, and sitting there while zoning out became part of her daily routine. On that day too, she left Roft to go home around dusk, after spending close to 4 hours there. Drops of rain fell from the dark grey sky. Kozu didn't have an umbrella with her, but she listlessly walked into the rain without either looking up at the sky or minding the wetness. At this point, something flew into her field of sight. Who are you? The world is ending. A signboard with a single phrase on the top of it. Then with the rain, the handwritten letters were blurring. The person holding the board was a lone homeless man, sitting inconspicuously at the side of the road, in the midst of the rain. That's curious. I mean, let me just get a sip of my drink. If I remember correctly, when we had that scene with dozens of people in the park all mumbling, whose eyes are those eyes? Just under hypnosis? I remember a homeless guy sitting there with a signboard. Maybe it's the same person. He hung his head and she couldn't see his expression. Maybe he was dead. That form of his, seeing it as a mirror image of how she herself had appeared on the stairs of Raft. Kozu stopped her feet. For a brief moment, she hesitated. She'd never seen a homeless person before coming to Tokyo, and it was one she had no familiarity with. She even felt disgust when she looked at him. She worried. What if she spoke to him and he got her involved in something dreadful? But at the time, what surpassed Kozu's anxiety was the drive to kill him. What? That's surprising coming from her. I mean, look at her. It was an all too sudden urge, but she had the feeling that by following it, she might be able to slay her current self as well. Which was why, after some wavering, she sent the man the voice of her heart.
世界は終わるの?
It's surprising that at least some people with these swords are people who don't feel they belong, don't fit in society, and they all have some kind of ability, somehow. I mean, Kozu can project her thoughts to people, while Takumi has premonitions about things. The man's shoulders trembled, so he wasn't dead. He slowly lifted his head. He gazed up at Kozu with the clouded eyes that peeked out from behind his wet bangs.
ああ、終わるよ。
Kozu widened her eyes a little, startled. Not by how he'd confirmed the end of the world. She was surprised by the fact that he'd answered her. She hadn't expected an answer. People she mentally spoke to either become confused and made themselves think she was a hallucination, or trembled in fear and swiftly fled. Even if she succeeded in communicating with them, it was difficult for them to respond so calmly. Human thoughts were all too illogical and chaotic. Yet this man had answered Kozu's question with a simple sentence, without any change in his expression. The spirit she sensed through his voice was brimming with a deep sorrow. His heart was crying. Kozu thought,
君は剣を持っているね。
how does he know about that? That must mean maybe he is the same homeless person before.
どうしてわかるの？
君のような子を他にも知っているから。
Kozu raised her hand above her head and showed him how she drew a D-sword. She pointed its tip at him.
この剣が見えるの？
Those are some crazy eyes.
見えないよ。
じゃあどうしてわかるの？
おじさんが悪い人だからだよ。すまない。
どうして謝るの？
おじさんのせいなんだ。
どうしておじさんのせいなの？
忠告しかできないから。動き出してしまったから。もうおじさんには止める術がないから。
じゃあおじさんを殺せばコズピーは悪くなくなるの？
その剣は君を殺す者にも守る者にもなる。思い出してごらん。空を見れば雲が、川を見れば流れがそこにあったはず。それと同じこと。その剣はいつも君のそばにあった。自分自身の心を見てごらん。そこにあるのがその剣なんだよ。
でも殺したいって願ったらこれが手元にあったんだよ。この剣はコズピーとコズピーの周囲にあるあらゆるものを殺すためのものじゃないの？
負の感情は否定されるものじゃない。人が誰しも持つものだからね。特別じゃないんだ。どう向き合うかだよ。目をそらしてはいけない。自分を否定してはいけない。世界は共存。君の心の中にある性は同時に負となりうるし、その逆もまた可能。世界が終わるのか、君たちだけなんだ。
In the end, Kozu didn't kill him. The years dissipated as he spoke to her. She didn't quite understand what he was saying. Even so, after thinking about it furiously, she reached a single conclusion. This sword was herself. If she looked at it without rejecting it, it would save her. That was why Kozu pure-heartedly came to depend on this sword of hers.